Hey everyone, it's Tracy Martirana here from Holistic Wellness with Tracy. Welcome back. If this is your first time visiting my channel, I'm glad you're here. For those of you who have watched my videos before, you know that I do like to share herbal remedies every now and then, and I also share a lot of cooking recipes that often use a lot of fresh herbs or different spices. I like flavor. And I like to incorporate herbs into my food because I think treating your food as your medicine is one of the best things you can do for your health. Today's video will be fairly short because I just want to spotlight an herb, and in the future I'll do more. But today I decided to start with rosemary. You may never have cooked with rosemary before, but I can guarantee that you've tasted it before. Rosemary is a very common herb in French cooking, Italian cooking, and other ones, they pop it in here or there, but that's where you see it the most. It is this sort of evergreeny, almost pine-looking plant, and it does, that's sort of what it tastes like, right? It does have sort of a pine flavor. It's very pungent, very strong. I have it here in a pot because where I live, it's growing season zone 5, which doesn't allow rosemary to survive the winter. But if you live in 7 through 10 and sometimes 6, you can put this in your ground and it's a perennial. It'll just stay in your herb garden forever. I usually plant one in the spring. In the fall, I put it in a pot and I bring it inside, and I try to at least get 2 years out of each one because I love having a nice big rosemary. In one season, well, it can get this big in one season. That was a little baby plant when it started. It was probably, this big, and now it's this big. I brought it in. I actually keep it out on my front porch throughout the winter because it's just, I want it to be somewhat dormant. I don't really want it in my kitchen taking up space, but I want it to survive the winter and be green enough that I can use it throughout the winter if I want. And then come spring, I'll simply pop it back out in the ground and I'll have a big giant rosemary bush next year. If you plant a rosemary in your garden and you don't feel like bringing it in, that's fine. I know several people who simply pull it up in the fall, hang it upside down, let it dry, clean off the needles off the stems, and they have lots of dried rosemary for all year long. Like most culinary herbs, not only does rosemary taste delicious, but it also has herbal health benefits as well. Down in the description box, I'm going to link to my blog post on rosemary where I get a little bit more in detail about the benefits that you can get from rosemary, but let's just say there are several. It is antimicrobial, anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, so it sort of slows down the aging process, helps us stay healthy so we don't get sick. It's also said to be good for preventing cancer, different tumors, all of that stuff. However, most of the time I see it used in herbal remedies for things such as dry skin, headaches, sort of mood. It's like a mood booster. It can increase focus. So if you have anxiety or ADHD, things like that, that sometimes diffusing rosemary or drinking a rosemary tea can help with those sort of things. But again, check out my blog to learn more. Now, let's talk about food. Rosemary, because it's a strong flavor, you do have to be a little bit careful with how you use it. You don't typically want to use a lot of it, and you have to use it with something that either already has like really strong flavor or is kind of bland, and rosemary is going to be the strong flavor. For example, rosemary is often used with meats like a pot roast or a lamb. It's often used in potato dishes because potatoes on their own are pretty bland, but rosemary just makes them delicious. It goes great with veggies, so you'll see it in a lot of Italian and French veggie dishes like ratatouille or like a bolognese sauce. Also, because it's so strong, it pairs well with strong flavors like garlic and Parmesan, so you'll see it in bread dishes like a focaccia, or sometimes I'll see like rosemary garlic bread where it's just a regular loaf of nice bread, but it has chunks of garlic and crushed rosemary throughout it. Yum. One of the other things that I love to do with rosemary is to make a rosemary oil. So you simply take rosemary, put it in a container, cover it with oil, let it sit for a while, and then you can use that oil to make salad dressings or to cook vegetables, to saute vegetables in, or fish. Yummy, yummy, yummy. So if you aren't cooking with rosemary, I suggest giving it a try. You can use it fresh, just cut off like a little chunk. You can buy it dried. If you have it dried in like a spice rack jar, just pour a little bit out, maybe rub it in your hands to release the oils, pop it in the dish, and you will not be disappointed. It is delicious. Can you tell I like rosemary? Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to click the like button below, because doing so lets YouTube know that people are interested in content like mine. Also, if you have a recipe that you like to make using rosemary, please put it in the comments, share it with us, because you can never have too many good recipes. Thanks so much and have a great day.